Today we will see a concept on metadata of program. It means, wait a second please. Yeah, today we will see a concept called metadata of program. Here metadata in the sense why exactly we need to create a class and what is the requirement of objects and why we need collections and why we need a dot in the programming, and we will see a concept called what is memory allocation, when the memory allocation memory will create for a program, or when the memory will get collected by a garbage, and why we need to release memory. So this and all, what is permanent and what is temporary. So before that, I just want to explain. Okay, consider I want to carry 1 liter of milk. Hello, I need to carry 1 liter of milk, but I have only milk. I am buying a milk from a merchant, milk merchant. But I want to travel this milk. I want to carry this milk from this place to here. What is the best transporter here? Best transporter. Transporter in the sense the which baggage we can bought milk. Maybe a can or cover, polythene cover. Understand? And but we are not supposed to use paper. So consider here milk is in class, and here the house where we are going to source is a execution, that means real time production environment. So consider when we are using a correct data type, that means we have to carry this class from here to here in a secure way with a relevant transport. Here the relevant transports are can and polythene cover. So understand, the relevant is nothing but a particular data type or a methods. So some of the methods which are very important, even paper is important in some cases, but when coming to this, but not here, that means we have to select the program with a relevant data types. Whether the execution can be done with this type of transport. Consider we have to think over in a real environment while writing a program. And another thing, okay. We have two memories called one is static and non-static. Okay, static methods is nothing but is a permanent memory. Static memory is permanent in whole program execution. And non-static is a instance memory, which can be terminated after the unrefreshed. Okay, we will see the 2 points. What is static memory and why it is a permanent, and what is non-static, why it is temporary. So, for every program, we have two things called, okay, something I have, okay. We have something called stack. I hope you know this. Stack and heap. Yeah, heap is nothing but a first in last out. First in first out, no, LIFO. We can call LIFO. Last in first out. And stack is a permanent location. And whenever the program executes, the required the suitable environment will loads. If it is Apex, it will load the CRM, that means Apex CRM, Apex execution. So if it is a Java constructor, it is an Apex, so it loaded Apex environment, that means Apex API. When loads, after it goes with a main class, that means there will be one public class which are having a main method. That means whenever we creating object, it considers, that means we are writing Apex class, in that there is a one point to start our program. Yeah, that means the first, whenever we call Apex, it must be called the first statement in the program. It may be a sixth line, and it doesn't mean. Whenever we create object, it loads that class. So it loads first class. First class or a first method. Whenever class loads, if this class contains, okay, consider, recursive triggers, right? Triggers. There we have a something called static, boolean, something. Whenever we'll find a static, automatically it creates a permanent memory for those static members. First class, and which is referenced to the same way, and it will reference to here. And if it have a three static members, it will create only for three static variables. And it have a two in non-static variables, no memory for non-static. It have to reference to some other object whenever the instance of object creates. These three variables always points to the same location. So understand what I mean to say. For non-static memory will create only when the time of instance, that means object creation. But static memory will create when the time of class loads. Okay, consider. Here you have to understand, you have to think about it. For instance variables, we don't have predefined values, default values. Consider, if you have a high, which is an instance variable, if I access I will get a null pointer exception. Even though it is an integer, consider, I will make it clear. Consider, that means integer I is 1, static integer I. If I access this I, that means not I, if I access I, that means what I will say, system.debug. If I access I here, I will get an output called null pointer exception. So no value means there is no memory, we just created, but no value because it is an instance. If we access the system.k, we will get a value called 0. Yeah. If we access as a string, it will give null. Okay, understand? So for static variables have their own default values because it has been created in a memory of class loads in the time of class loads. For a non-instance members, when the object creates, the user must be initialized and we have to define and we have to signature for the non-instance variable. And static members, it is only thing we have to define and we have to set a memory allocation. We don't want to bother about when memory allocation will create it because it creates when class loads. Yeah. And there will be something called, we have a string, right? We know s equal to Sahas, I equal to L equal to Lakshmi, D equal to Deepak. Okay. If S equal to Sri, totally how many values is okay? Sorry. Again I am correcting S equal to Deepak. Okay. Now consider how many variables it creates. That means just try to point out the. Okay. Just try to use your mouse pointer to draw a values here. Sahas, just understand. I am asking you to draw a flowchart. That means pictorial representation. Like what I will do here. If it is yes, it have to show. Okay, I will do all things. Sahas, can you close up your doors because I am getting a lot of disturbance. I will draw the thing, but you have to just make a arrow marks. One. Okay, sorry. Yes. D. L. V. Don't feel this time waste, Sahas, because it have to be like this. Okay. What I will do here? Just point. Just draw a arrow mark. What I will do here? S equal to Sahas. D equal to Deep. L equal to Lakshmi. D equal to Deepak. And wait a minute. What happened here? V equal to L equal to Lakshmi. So S equal to Sahas. D equal to Deepak. L equal to Lakshmi. V equal to Sri. V equal to Sahas. Okay. What you will do? Just draw a arrow marks which points to which memory. Take a pencil, it is good because it is not aligned correctly. S equal, that's leave it, Sahas leave, okay. And V equal to Sahas. Okay, completed. Okay, just remember this, Sahas. Hello. Just remember, I will give you another syntax, another thing, another assignment. This is integer values. I equal to 10. j equal to 20, k equal to 10. Okay, and don't do anything with this. I will open another pane. ఇంకో పెయింట్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుందా? No. Okay. Okay. Sahas. Okay, what you will do? Okay, use this space to draw that thing. Okay, I hope it is in visual. Okay, I equal to 10, I j k, and it is just you have to represent. I will do it before for you. I j k 10 20 10. Okay, now plot a chart. Home, just click home. Okay. Okay, and why you drawn here? Just see here and do one thing, Sahas. In TeamViewer, you will get options in top view. There is an option called view. In top of the screen, you will finding right by adding voice chart. Yeah, in that show remote cursor. Select show remote cursor. No, here you will find here. Okay, my mouse is not visible. Hello. No, you have to find. Just see your screen fully. There in TeamViewer full screen, you will find an option. That means top of the screen in the middle, before webcam. In front, below that to webcam. Yeah, we in that last option is called show remote cursor. Are you seeing my cursor now? My cursor movement. Yeah. See here, you are pointing V to Sahas here, and you didn't point here like this, right? And you are pointing here 10, but you are not pointing to 10 here. But what actually you are drawing is correct. And you are saying it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense us. Very sorry for that. So we call this concept is called string pool memory. String pool. What is string pool in the sense? When this is a pool, string pool location. Whenever you create a string instance, string variable, it will always create memory at the string pool. This is a separate memory. No other variables, no other data types will be saved in this pool memory. Only string data type will be saved. If string memory have already a value called Sahas, whenever you are trying to create a new variable with a new value, string value, always is checks from top to down. If value exists is Sahas, then it will always directly points to Sahas. It won't create another memory. Understand? We are doing a sum auto. We will search a first account. If account is not exists, then we will create account, right? If account exists, we will go for a password forget, or we can try to retrieve that account. The same way, if there is a value, it will always point. Okay, consider here D equal to Deepak. For next, I change D equal to Sri. And this value, this arrow will get unreferenced, right? No location. For Deepak, no location. If it is unreferenced, the garbage collector, we will call it as a garbage collector, which free up memory pool. That means it will delete this memory and it will release. Whenever you are pointing to another variable, automatically the unreferenced variable will be deleted or directly handled by a garbage collector or a garbage of the particular API of a program. In Apex, it is a garbage, GBC. For .NET, there is no GPC because the .NET framework will also handles the GBC works. It doesn't mean that whether it is a program or not, but every object program, the unreferenced objects, methods or variable or any data type can be automatically collected by a garbage collector which free up the memory. We will call it as a memory maintenance. And don't feel bad, sirs, because in every programming, the memory maintenance will be more important to become a good programmer. Yeah, and why for other data types it's not? Because I equal to 10, okay, it's okay. K equal to 10, it will get a new memory. And it will get a new memory not in a string pool. It get a new memory in stack. Stack always creates a new memory which cannot be referenced to a same. If you want to represent this 10 to this K, then you have to make K equal to I. If you call like this, if you consider the address of this one is 80, that means location address. If you put K equal to I, it will return the address of a location. Whenever you call the location, first it will call the address of location, which address is located 80, K, again it goes K, and then it references to K, but not directly to K. What I will do, it will do 80 here, and it will points to I. If it is I, then again it goes to 10. See how distant, how much time it taking. Okay. For integers, if you want to make V equal to S here, the same way, it will always directly points to the value, but not to the address. Except for only for string, which is a string pool memory. Whenever you create a string in any object or any class, it will always go for a string pool memory, not with some other. But don't, and for collections, list, set and something there, right? For collections, string pool memory will not comes into picture. You have to remember. For collections, there is no string pool memory. Are you clear about the string pool memory and normal memories? Whenever the time, that means for programming, it is mandatory to remember, because if you remember about a memory location, you will be very good at in doing program. That means you will feel somewhat comfortable. And something other concept called string pool memory we just do, but if you have any doubts, just ask me. No. And Sahas, I have a small question. Why we need a class here? Yeah, why we need to create a class instead of it is mandatory to create a class everywhere. Are you sure? No, I'm asking about coding. Don't think about Salesforce and all. Generally, to do any programming coding, that means business logic, can you give an example where it is not mandatory? No, we are talking about object oriented, that you have to remember, Sahas. Yeah, obviously. No objects will cannot be created without class, because objects itself represents instance of a class. Without a parent, how can we create a image to that thing? So in object oriented class, and why it is mandatory, why it is required? A class is nothing but a a class is nothing but a workplace workplace to process our required work. Nothing but a, if you want to do something, some work, you need some place. That place is nothing but a class. Or technically we can call it as a blueprint, or also we can call it as a collection of objects, methods, static and non-static variables, static and non-static, and okay, collection of methods, static and non-static members, global and local variables. Okay, we will see. First we know why we need class, we understand. Okay, hello. And we have something called global variables. Why we need a global variables? Yeah, which can be accessed anywhere in the particular class, not overall program. It can be accessed only in this scope. Global variables are global within the scope, not outside of the scope. And we have something methods. We know methods, right? Why we need methods? Methods allows us to create or perform our business logic. And we have something like constructors. Why we need a constructor? Sahas, why we need constructor? Yeah, okay, chod do. As you are perfectly alright, the definition is correct, but constructors are required to create instance of a class. By default, there will be one constructor each and every class if user doesn't defined in any particular scope of class. Which means if user didn't define any constructor in a class, the program API, the particular Apex API will itself define one constructor before creating an object. So, which we can also be called as constructors are super inherited. Constructors are super inherited from super object class. We can call it as an object class. Each and every class can be created. Object instance can be created by using an object class. Constructor. Now you got something right. And this is a program structure, Sahaj. Wherever you go, this is a program structure. Okay. And local members within the class. And we have in methods we have something called local members. Local members, right? Which can be accessed, which can be utilized only within the scope of method of within the scope of method. Yeah, and so this is the structure, and we have a rules, and we have some rules. We have some rules about, for every programming we have to remember about 76 rules, Sahas. These rules you won't find outside because these rules are created by only Deepak because for my convenience. Okay, actually when I do a programming, I used to follow these 76 rules maybe in the everywhere because these 76 rules is enough. Okay, I will list all those because it is only in my brain, no written format anywhere, so I have to make it as a written now. So, okay, it takes time. Okay, wait a second please. Hello, who is in the line? Hello, yeah, who is in the line? Uday. Which Uday? ఉదయ్ చెప్పు ఉదయ్ ఉంటాను ఉదయ్. సరే సరే అయితే ఏం డౌట్లు ఉన్నాయా? సరే సరే అయితే బాయ్. సహస్, yeah, I will do this list by not today, by Monday. Okay, and it is not mandatory, and we will see. No, I won't, yeah. It is my, and please you too don't share it. And if you share now, because there is no difference between them and us, we have to maintain some difference, right? So we will see something called static now. Static, non-static, and public, that means access specifiers, and okay, access specifier, nothing else. And we will see something called general example. Can you give out username? Consider, if I ask your username, will you say for a Facebook? If I ask your username for Facebook, will you give it or an your username? Username, yeah. Password, yeah. Consider, see here, username which can be shareable, that means there is no problem by sharing those things. If such type of requirements we used to define as a public. If there is a requirement of password, consider, don't mind silly, because general example, if you have a lover, that means your goal. I hope you have your goal. Yeah. If your goal asks your password, will you provide or not? Yeah, you will provide, right? So, because here we are securing our password, even though we are sharing, but we are not giving to all. We are sharing to a particular people who are required to us and who can be authorized for to use those things. So in that case, we will define our thing as private. And there is a requirement, okay, consider, not private, okay, protected. Okay, wait a second, I just confused. Protected, private, protected. Okay, we will use as a protected here. Protected, which can be accessed anywhere to a defined person, not to all. And that means it should have some relation with you. It should have some relation with you to access that protected, that password. Okay, and there is a thing. Even though you have your girlfriend have a relation, consider it is your bank ID, bank transactional IDs. No, bank. You have another Facebook ID. You have another Facebook ID, which you have some other goal in that, or some other personal information, or some other which your goal didn't want to know it. At that time, you have to share your password, but not to all, right? At that time, even though she have relationship, you will make your password as a private. Private things never be shared to others, and it can be accessed within your scope. That means you can access anywhere, whenever you require, but within the scope. So, understand, public can be shareable, which cannot be harmful to you. And protected are the things which can be shareable, who, that means the members who have a relationship with you. Private are the members which cannot be shareable to anyone, even though have a relationship. And there is another thing called default. And all will think default have, that means if you create some method without access specifier, it is a default. And the default is, yeah, actually everyone will think default as a public. That is okay. But I am saying my access specifier name is default here. Public, private, protected, and have something called default. That means what I am saying, say, we call as a void test, right? And we can call as a public void test, and we can call as a private void test, protected void test, and we have called default void test. I am talking about this default. Understand? Yeah, whenever we need to create, when we need to create this default. So, you don't find a situation to use the default option, but it is the requirement to know you, to know. So, consider, I told you, right, private cannot be shareable. In future, it becomes mandatory to share to someone. To share someone, that means, consider, it is important to go with a diagram. Okay, consider, okay, I have one thing. And here we have a lot of secrets. Here we have lot of bunch of data. And here there is a member who seeks your information only of a particular type of small box. Understand? Here we have 3 boxes and we are creating only small box. If we want, if you create it as a public, if you created it as a private, which cannot be possible. That means nothing is possible. From any side cannot be accessible. That means totally blocked. That means shielded. We can call it as a shielded. But he want to give. That means it is mandatory to pass some information, some zigzag information to him. And it is not possible to give access directly from through shield. At that time, what you have to go? You have to go for a default, and we have to create some mapping. We call it as a mapping. The same map, the image, that means you are just keeping an image in front of this. That image you are going to reflect here. That means consider it is an image. He is seeing your information inside of image, not in the direct source. If this person does any modification, it won't reflect to your real data. It will only reflect to the mirror, which can be visible to him, not to everyone. Even though he do any modification, it doesn't reflect on the your source image. It only reflects on the mapped mirror image. Understand? If there is a requirement to share your private image, you have to make it as a map. And if you know database, we can call it as a temporary data tables, right? Nothing but is a temp image, and which can be used by only one user, the one class. And it is mandatory that you have a relationship. It is mandatory that you both have to be relation. It is mandatory. You should have a relation to do this requirement. Understand? And this type of mapping is only possible with a default members, not with a private. If you try to create a mapping, the private member will not cross forward after mapping requirement. That means the mirror image will not, that means consider say, like ghost. If you try to take a photo of a ghost, it won't reflect. That means it won't reflect in a film. Private members are ghost. If you want to take a mirror from them. And default members are a chances which can be get a mirror images. Understand? Access specifier. Why we need access specifier? Okay. And there is something we have to discuss. Why we need exactly static and non-static? Can you give out a small example for me? Why we need a static and non-static? Oh, no. No, I'm not asking about values. I'm asking why. I am always when. Where we have to use, not like that. I'm asking why we need static in program. No real time, general examples. Consider, I will show you now. Okay, consider as okay. These are the customers. these are the banking returns to customers. Understand? So every circle is a one customer and one transaction. And consider this is a PPF, public or a LIC, anything as your wish. LIC. Today the LIC interest is 7. This member, he is depositing 10,000, 10k. He is depositing 1L, 1C, 10 rupees, and he will get a return with 10 plus 7%, right? He will get 1C plus 7%. So consider here 7 is constant for all. It is static. When there is a value which is so constant in every execution, that means in tomorrow it becomes 8. I used to change only my static variable to 8%, which reflects in all the way. Understand? The static, when you define something as a static, which can be used by several where in the program, and it must be constant. Understand? If you create an instance of this, if you create a non-instant, for each and every 10k, for each and every constant, you have to create some interest. That means for interest, you have to give some memory location. How many customers you have? We have 4. Then we have to create 4 memory locations in different parts, which is consumed a lot of memory and which can be burdened on a system, and it also reduce the program execution. So consider if it is a constant, then go with a static. If the value is not static, then don't go with a static, because consider here 10k, if you define this customer as a static, if we consider this customer as a static memory 10k, once he get a returns, he is not interested to be with us. So he left from an organization, but still he have a traces in the organization memory pool, right? Because it is a static, so garbage collector will not take over the static memory till the program termination. Once the memory is created for static, it won't collect back till the program execution completes. Okay. Consider for customers it is independent, so we have to go for a non-static. If it is a constant for all the way instance, then go for a static. And something we have called static blocks. No, SIBs and IABs it won't work. Okay, small questions, Sahas. Memory allocation will be takes place. That means memory allocation will take first to static or a non-static. Okay. What about non-static? Okay, consider here I am doing some class static int I, static int I equal to 0, int k equal to 0. I am creating object for a obj equal to new a. So consider the output you have to say only the object creation sequence First object creation will be done to first object creation will be created. You have to say, I am not gonna type. You have to say, and I have to type. Okay, object will be created. Object created. Then second I next. Okay, okay. This is your answer. Let's see my answer. First I will loads. Second object A and obj will create. Third K memory will allocate. Here there no K memory because I didn't access K here. Obj.k. Then I will get here memory allocation called 3.k. If I accessed obj.i, what happened now? Yeah. If I access obj.i, what happens? It will create, sorry, don't feel bad. What you are expecting, just say. It will create I in A, obj. If I access A.i, what happens? That means class name. Yeah. Yeah. No memory. That means it reference. It reference to class object. Class A. Okay. And if I access only I, what happens? No memory allocation takes place. Why it is happening? Do you know the reason why it is not creating a new memory and it is creating a memory for when you are trying to object A? Yeah, see, this is a concept and remember this. See, for static members which can be accessed by its class name or instance of a class. Understand? Nothing but a object or nothing but a entity. So let's see example. Class A static int equal to 10, A obj equal to, actually it is not possible. I have to create a method here. That means public void test. Wait a second please. I will show in a good way. Where is notepad? Something I have here, Java. Yeah. It is not running. Update package unavailable. No. Okay, there are a lot of programs already. we will go for a new program, control N, and here see class A static int I equal to 10 public void test if I create A obj equal to new A, if I create new A and if I access obj dot I and a dot I, or else we can also write only I, that means both are same. Even if you call with a dot I or I is same within the class, not outside of a class. So see here what we did here, int I equal to 10 and void test object, we created objects, and see how the memory allocation will take place. The first memory will create class loads, a class loads. Second, static memory creates in the sense for each and every static creates, and object creates, and we are calling object.I, right? Again it creates memory of I in object of a class. Now see how many members we have I. Here already we have memory for I. Again we are creating memory. Is it loss, right? Memory loss. Yeah. And thus we have to use this type of requirements in real time always. Even though we have memory, we have to create. Consider here I equal to 10. By using I, what I will do here, I equal to object.I equal to I plus 10. So the new memory of I equal to 20. If we access object.I, it will reflect 20. If we want to use a static memory of I, it will reflect 10. Understand, when we need a create for instance of a static memory, that means consider why this type. There will be some customers. You are a special customer, so I have a special offer for you. So we will have no, consider you are buying something, actually it is a 50% discount. With all the two, again you have something called 10% discount offer for before purchase. If it's so, actually discount offer D equal to 50. But you are benefiting some other 10% on when your account is activating. At that time, it will add by using discount plus a new discount offer is nothing but a object referenced static location. Understand? You are clear, because I need you to be clear, more clear in this way. Program is nothing that LKG student will also do. So understand, whenever the object creation takes place, consider if I have a static memory here, you have to find out this answer. Sahas, if I have a static member, try to find out static int k equal to 10. Sahas, this static member is in method, inside a method, not in a class. So when the memory allocation will take place, whether time of class loads or when the time of method calls. Try to find out this answer. Sahas. Wrong answer. No. Yeah, it is creates in beginning. Wait a second, I am getting. Hello, who is in the line? Hello. Hello. Yeah. This is Lakshmi Deepika here, man. Yeah, this is Lakshmi Deepika here. May I know who is this? Okay. Yeah, staying in Bangalore, Marthalli. Software engineer. Yeah. No, alone. I am accommodating in PG. Above. Thank you. Hello, sir. Sorry. Yeah. Here static, right? If you say whenever method can be called n number of times. Method can be called n number of times in a program, right? If n number of times called, you have to create n number of memory locations. So it is whenever class loads, each and every will be loaded. And what I am saying here is false. You have to understand. My answer is correct. If the method is static, then my answer is correct. Hello. If the method is not static, then I have static members. What happens? Yeah, yeah. If you try to study this article, you will feel really interesting and you will get to know several topics which I didn't discuss. Because this is the only one complication that every programmer should be clear. So for a non-static members, I have a static. Then what happens? Consider. Again, I have something called int k equal to 20. If my method is static, if I try to call this method, that means before discussing this apex, I need you to be more clear in this way. If I accessed k here, what happens? And probably I am saying that it is error. And error is also nothing but cannot reference non-static members to static members. And finally the error throw is conversion failed. Conversion failed. That means uncompatible type. You will get as a uncompatible type. Okay, wait a minute. I will stop this video because it becomes 1 hour.